All right, it's daybreak on Arise News, and it's time for the press preview. First look at what's on the front pages of the papers. We're starting with our sister publication this day, and on its front page, its headline: "Are you Tambuwal? You are the hero of the convention." Now, these has about 4 riders or 3. Atiku begins search for running mate. Consider South-South-Southeast governors. Page Tambuwal. Thank you visit as Anyim. Ihedioha. Others congratulate him. Southern Middle Belt leaders say his election an affront on the South. Peter Side castigates Wike for wasting Rivers money. You can find this on page 3, of course. There you can see the governors, Okowa, Udom, who came, I think, was it 4th? And then you have Obaseki, governor of Edo State, and you have Anyim, former SGF. All of them, their strengths and weaknesses are pointed out there. 2023 Obi's aspirations suffer setback as fresh litigation rocks. Labour Party has 2 riders. Abdul Salam's ex-deputy vows to obtain new court orders today. NLC still in court against Abure, says Falano. All right, NCDC declares emergency over monkeypox disease. And just on the top mast, no plans to move our investment away from dollar, says NSIA. And then just below this day logo, you have Jonathan not being considered as APC presidential candidate, says Lukman. That rumor has been rife. You can find it on page 6. Woman.
The Punch newspaper is leading with Atiku's candidacy. Pro-zoning forces angry. Slam PDP Tambuwal. INEC chairman visits Ekiti State ahead of June 18 governorship poll. And here, EFCC arrests Yari as the former governor of Zamfara State. Alleges the ex-governor got 22 billion naira largesse from the suspended accountant general. Strike with resumed talks with the federal government. That's according to ASU and SANU.
All right, Kenneth, sorry there, my woman. All right, the Sun. Let's look at the Daily Sun. PDP primary. How Northern elders ensured Atiku's victory. This can be found on pages 3, 6, and 13. Southern Middle Belt leaders kick, says it's an affront. I'm shocked. Primordial sentiments triumph. That is coming from Anyim and Tinubu, Okowa, Obi. Others hail ex-VP. Presidency, I'll beat PDP candidate flat if APC gives me ticket. That is coming from the governor of Umahi, Dave Umahi, the governor of Ebonyi State. All right, just down there below the picture, Buhari disowns plot to draft Jonathan into APC presidential race. And that white stripe says EFCC arrest ex-Zamfara governor, just like Kenneth said earlier on, Yari, after winning the primaries in his state. The next paper.
It's The Nation newspaper. EFCC uncovers another 90 billion naira fraud against the suspended accountant general of the Federation. There's more primaries. 42 senators won't return. Number likely to rise. A Methodist prelate bishop kidnapped in Abia State. Presidency, Buhari not part of plot to draft Jonathan into race.
All right, let's look at international papers, and then that's all we have for the home papers. The I newspaper. All right, PM plans bonfire of EU laws to appease rebel MPs.
And the Daily Telegraph. UK opens door to world's top graduates. And there's a picture of US President Joe Biden and Joe Biden while they were visiting Uvalde, Texas over the weekend.
All right, Financial Times. Financial Times says global inflation fight spurs widest push to raise rates in 2 decades.
And the Times says millions warned of power cuts in the UK.
All right, let's bring in Emmanuel Bello. Emmanuel, glad to have you join us this morning. Good morning to you. All right, let's look at this sister publication. It says, "Are you to Tambuwal?" It says, "You are the hero of the convention," with the middle best kicking, and then, of course, the quest now, the next level is seeking for who will be running mate to Atiku. By the way, what do you make of Atiku's winning the election and Wike coming second, and then Saraki coming third with 70 votes?
Well, good morning. It was a very tough weekend, and one that we're coming out of it with all sorts of. It was the topmost political weekend of all weekends in the year so far, and of course, culminating in the emergence of Atiku yet again. And some people will say that there's something you can say for perseverance, for doggedness in his race, and he pretty much say some of that he's committed to to this race because of his plans, projections, and what he plans to do for this country. So there you have it. He's there, and he's moved past, from all indication from the reports that this day is giving, he's moved past the primary stage. He's already seeing himself in the general election state of mind already. So he's moved past the primary stage, thinking of who he will pick as his running mate, and the paper is presenting individuals that he could likely pick. So even in reporting, we have moved from reporting the presidential race itself now to looking at the vice presidential slot, and it's very important who he picks. It's equally as important as the story of how he emerged. Who he picks now will mean a lot because he has to think about balance. Remember that his emergence has gone against even what a whole lot of southern politicians thought would happen, the issue of zoning. That didn't happen, and in this story too, you have a situation where southern stakeholders say that it's a slap. One of them saying it's a brazen affront on the sensibility of the peoples of the South, because they've all imagined that power should shift after 8 years of northern presidency. So, but that didn't happen. Others will say, well, the opportunities were there. You have Southerners who were also in the race. In the case of Atiku, it was the deft move by Tambuwal that gave him that edge. So why didn't that also happen among the other contestants, so that they will be able to edge out any other form of competition? But it's happened, and Ayu now is called the hero. He's the man of the match. If this were sport, and in sports too, because we see a lot of sport-like or sportsmanship going there. Atiku getting a lot of support and commendation and support. I am writing a very brilliant piece and saying that, look, I support and I congratulate his emergence. So we see some sportsmanship. Even Wike not taking it too badly. At least the initial reaction was that of conceding and understanding what's going on. So so some sportsmanship is going on there, and like I say, Atiku has gone past the primary stage, thinking of who he's going to run this race with, and a lot of people are going to watch, because that's the very first decision, major decision he has got to make, and we'll keep an eye on it.
While we wait for that to happen, Emmanuel, the Nation newspaper is reporting that 42 senators won't be returning to the National Assembly. Experts have lamented that there's been too much focus on the presidency and we've forgotten about the lawmakers. Is this a welcome development?
Yeah, and Kenneth, you're right. We should be also focusing on what's happening in other elections, and I think that's what this report is putting forward. With a whole lot of other elections have happened, and so many issues, even around the states. I don't see us beaming our searchlight on the state the way we should. We should do that. Many things, some form of crisis around the states too, around their primaries have been there, and I think this will be coming up, especially now on a new week like this. There will be a lot of conversation around the issue of other elections apart from the presidency.
All right. Well, the talk, there's been rumor about the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, being drafted in as a consensus candidate, but this paper is saying, The Sun is saying that Buhari disowns plot to draft Jonathan into APC presidential race. What do you make of that? And, well, if you want to begin to postulate to go forward, in the event that that happens, wouldn't that elicit or evoke a crisis in the party when you consider the people like Tinubu there?
Well, the Jonathan thing has been here with us, Indy, for so long now. This back and forth. Did they buy the form? Who bought the form from the pastoralists who came and said we bought the form? The story started from there, and it's been the back and forth has been on. You have deniers, counter deniers, and it's so difficult for reporting, I guess, especially political reporters. I had to keep tabs on reporting what Jonathan is doing, what he's not doing. Is he going to emerge the flag bearer of the APC? What's the role of the presidency in that? The presidency coming out to say, look, take Buhari out of it. It's nothing to do with him. But in the past, he has been roped into the whole plot. People saying that that's APC's own way of, of answering the crisis of marginalization, especially for the South, and all of that, and that Jonathan might be. So it's been in the news, and this is a continuation of some of the reporting around the person of President Jonathan, former President Jonathan. Some people thinking that maybe that would be some pathway for the APC, especially now that they have a formidable ally in, or a formidable opponent in Atiku. I think the APC shifted its convention forward. The APC will have to worry about who will match, strength for strength, appeal for appeal with Atiku. And so some people watches for watches. So, well, but there is a consideration, and some people think that maybe that's the path to go. Some people are thinking that, well, now that PDP is clearly moved, shifted its presidency to the northeast, APC might want to do the same thing, just for balance. A name has actually been jotted out of that consideration of the lower Senate president. So, but it's up to the APC. Nobody knows what they're planning now, and then of course we'll have to deal with some of these. I know the difficulty it will entail in reporting what the APC is really thinking, but it's a matter of days. The days are taken away, and the convention will happen, and we'll know who the APC is putting forward to match.
It should be interesting.
Yes,
indeed. It's in the Nation newspaper, Emmanuel. The EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, has uncovered another 90 billion naira fraud against the now suspended Accountant General of the Federation. And over the weekend, we brought an exclusive about the arrest of the former governor of Zamfara State, Mr. Yari. And the news, it's also in the news that he's won a ticket for a senatorial contest. And in other states, we've heard of individuals who supposedly have cases against them, yet they're emerging as candidates
like
for political,
State, for example.
For political parties. Emmanuel, what are we not doing right here?
Well, I think what we're not doing right here is actually following on principles. I mean, how do you have, and then you have all that contradiction. Somebody who is trying to be, to represent people at that highest stage of governance, having to be arrested. It sends the wrong signal. It shows that, look, we're actually, aiding and abetting corrupt people. Because these are people who came from the system, and these are people who are voted in by individuals. It means that
they're not guilty yet, we must say.
Well, yes, but you see, it's contradicting Indy when a situation where, of course, the optics of it is horrible.
Yeah,
that somebody that you are thinking of giving this kind of responsibility is actually being arrested for corruption. How do they even win their tickets? Are you sure they are not using the proceeds of this corruption to actually even get those tickets in the first place? So those are the issues. These are tainted characters. And then in some parts of the world, just the mention of it, the fact that you are associated with these kind of stories would mean either resigning or actually just saying, look, you are not going to be in the race again. But that's not what you find here. You find a situation where people are so brazen, they go ahead with their ambition even when they are being accused, or it is so clear that they were arrested over corruption. It just tells you how bad and endemic the crisis of corruption is.
They say our politics is still growing. That's what you hear. That's what we are dealing with. Thank you so much.